Hey folks, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Justin Riley. We have a terrific show for you today. We have two very special celebrity interviews coming up. We have Robert Mondavi and Alfonso Ribeiro are joining us via satellite during the program today, as well as some car tips that will help you make better decisions about fixing your car from Handle Automotive. But first, I'm joined by Dan McHugh from Al Byers Indoor Comfort Systems. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here with us today. So, first of all, just describe for viewers who don't know about Al Byers, what exactly are some of the services you guys provide?
Okay. We are a custom provider of indoor comfort solutions, which basically comprises of heating, cooling, and also hearth products. And some of the heating solutions we may have might be boilers, forced air furnaces, radiant tube heaters, garage heaters. Cooling systems could be anything from high velocity to standard traditional forced air units to ductless split units as well. And then of course our hearth products would be fireplaces, stoves, and all different fuel types.
Very cool. And you have sort of an interesting approach for providing these services to your customers. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, what we really like to do is investigate the concerns and the needs for the customer. We do a lot of asking questions, find out what their goals are, and then sit back and listen. Basically, we want to learn as much as we can about what the customer is trying to attain, and then we try to develop or correlate the system that we're going to hopefully propose to possibly integrate with their existing system, or it might be something brand new. It might be something out of the box that we might want to use as a segue or something totally different and give them independent zone comfort for that area.
Interesting, very interesting. So it's not just, it doesn't sound like it's just cookie cutter type of things. It sounds like you really listen to what the customer needs and kind of design something based on that.
Very true, because there's so many different types of pieces of equipment we work on that just because somebody might want to add heat to an addition, for example, adding ductwork to their existing furnace may not work.
Right.
We may want to do something else, a different type of unit, maybe even a hearth product that could provide practicality,
Sure.
efficiency, and decoration as well.
So what are some of the most important things that a home or a business owner can do to keep their technology running in tip-top shape?
Well, one thing I wanted to touch on there is the fact that preventive maintenance is key, because a lot of folks, equipment is down in the basement, they don't think much about it, but it's almost like changing oil in the car. You want to make sure that it's ready to go for you, especially during weather extremes, because when that day happens, when something clunks, it'll probably be one of the worst days of the season.
Sure, yeah. And it always happens when it's either too hot or too cold. It's never when it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. I can deal with this for a little bit.
It's when it's stressed.
When it's stressed, exactly.
Exactly.
So, let's talk about like the business end of things, because you guys do both residential and business. What sort of special technology or tools are important for running a business?
Well, in our world now, what's really important is, of course, computers and the internet.
Right.
It allows us a lot more research to even take a look at equipment that might be relatively old, even 20 years or older, to get us the best heads up on how to fix it or repair it. The other thing is, with cell phones having great cameras on them now, we can actually take a photo of what we're working on or the technician's working on, and they can actually text it to us, and we can see a wiring schematic, a control board or something right immediately and get to work troubleshooting.
Oh, okay. So I misspoke. This is actually technology solutions that you use in your business.
Correct.
To help, to help sort of expedite the process a little bit.
Correct. Plus there's other government mandated equipment that we have to use to handle refrigeration things, and they got cameras and scopes and meters and other things.
Sure, sure. Well, really quick before we go, talk to us a little bit quickly about how long you guys have been in business, and I understand that you might have some special events coming up.
Yes, this actually is our 60th year.
Wow.
So we're approaching 4 generations actually.
Wow.
And on August 11th, we're going to be having an open house at our facility in Cambridge with some specials going on, and we'd like to invite people out just from 4 to 7 on that Tuesday.
4 to 7 on Tuesday, August 11th.
That's correct.
And anybody is welcome to come.
That's correct.
Very cool, and that's out in Cambridge.
It is at Cambridge.
All right, awesome. Well, Dan McHugh from Al Byers Indoor Comfort Systems, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much.
Don't go away. When we come back, We're going to have interviews with both Robert Mondavi and Alfonso Ribeiro. It's Talk of the Town. Stay with us. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Whether you're hosting a backyard barbecue, a graduation party, or making the most of a summer holiday, you'll want to stay on trend this season. And here to set the stage for the perfect summertime soiree, we're joined now by style expert and fourth-generation winemaker Rob Mondavi. He joins us from his beautiful home in South Carolina. Rob, welcome to our program.
It's wonderful to be here this morning. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. And so talk to us a little bit about what are some of the outdoor trends that we're going to see for 2015.
You know, especially coming off of a very hard, long, and cold winter, people are absolutely going to be outdoors, dining al fresco, enjoying the fresh ingredients that our local grocers are now able to provide, having a glass of wine, and enjoying the warmth and the camaraderie of their friends after we've come out of this long winter.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a long winter, especially for us up here in Wisconsin. What are some design considerations that people should keep in mind when they're hosting parties and getting ready for things like that?
Well, I think the design considerations really start at the genesis of building your outdoor space. You know, my family being within the wine industry for now 4 generations, we have a very, very important attribute of being green and sustainable. And so when we designed this outdoor space, the screened-in porch, we were very thoughtful with selecting a green product, and we looked to Trex. And Trex makes this great decking material here that's composite, so I don't worry about my son getting splinters, and also the maintenance is absolutely easy. The color selection of the Island Mist worked so well for us. Being down by the water, to have something that looked like driftwood was key, because as you mentioned, we want the comfort from the outdoor to indoor to really transcend together and to meld together. And then little details as you're designing, you know, the railing that we have around the screen porch to allow that to have just enough depth to put a wine glass on or a little plate as we're entertaining. We want our guests to feel at home no matter where they're sitting and enjoying. We decided to also have some smaller, more intimate areas so a group of 4 or 6 could talk together as opposed to a larger area that really spreads the party out. We wanted to focus and enjoy the camaraderie of our company and our friends together.
It sounds like you've not only got the big picture idea down, but you really are paying close attention to details, and that's great.
Well, you know, they say the devil...
a lot of people plan these outdoor parties in the summer, and then inclement weather happens. You never know when it's going to rain. What are some considerations or some things we can take into consideration to account for weather?
Well, you know, we're down here in low country in South Carolina, right on the water. The salt air, the salt breeze, the sun really can batter your furniture and also your deck. So what we did is we went with a composite furniture, and they're absolutely not only sturdy, but they're beautiful, so easy to clean and maintain. And the same is true when we added a little twist. On the pillars that are behind me, we actually encased those with a composite material. I don't want our deck and our home to last 25 years. I want it to last 25 years plus. So taking an extra step and being green and thoughtful about what you're doing now will extend that life and that investment. And it's also just downright beautiful and comfortable.
Yeah, comfort is a big part of that. So if we're preparing, what are some tips that we can that you can give us to help us prepare for the perfect summer soiree?
Well, preparing for the perfect summer soiree is absolutely wonderful. Take a look on Pinterest and Houzz, Mondavi.com and Trex.com and find elements. Prepare, plan ahead, make certain that you have your champagne chilled, make sure you have a bottle of my wine, Spellbound Chardonnay chilled, and entertain. Plan ahead and make your guests comfortable and you enjoy as well. Raising a glass to you out there, and thanks so much for inviting me today.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure having you today, Rob. Rob Mondavi is a 4th-generation winemaker and style expert. He joined us today from his home in South Carolina. Thanks for coming on, Rob. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Summer is one of the busiest times of the year for road trips, and we all know that when you throw something unpredictable into the mix, it makes the memories that much more fun. But what about taking one of America's funniest online families, putting them at different famous sites around our country, and having them joined by one of TV's most popular stars? Joining us now live from Yellowstone National Park, we have Alfonso Ribeiro. Alfonso, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you here with us today.
Yes, great.
So I have to offer my congratulations to you because I understand that you were recently named as the new host for America's Funniest Home Videos.
I am. I will be starting, our first episode will air October 11th on ABC. It is pretty cool to take over for Tom Bergeron. He was a huge supporter of me replacing him. He decided that he no longer wanted to do the show, and after my Dancing with the Stars win, he said, you know what, you'd be great taking over for AFV. So he supported that, and it was great, and obviously I ended up getting the gig, and very, very excited. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it feels like it's the perfect show for me to be a part of.
That's awesome, and that's quite a dynasty of a show to join. So we wish you the best in the future for that.
Well, 25 years the show's been on, so it's a mainstay in people's heart and mind, and every Sunday night families sit down at the dinner table and watch a little AFV. So I'm very excited to continue that tradition.
Talk to us a little bit about this road trip. What's this all about now?
Well, it's a Chex Mix, deliciously unpredictable road trip where the AB family and myself, starting here at Yellowstone National Park, and right there with Old Faithful right behind me, and making our way many stops all the way to the Grand Canyon. We're going to be doing some wonderful things for families and for individuals, and having some fun and some stuff done to us, and it's going to be unpredictable, and it's going to be great, and people can absolutely check it out and see what we're doing. They just got to go onto any one of the social media platforms and use the hashtag ChexMixRoadTrip, and this way they can watch what we're doing along the way and see all the fun videos and photos that will document our trip. If they want to get involved, there's actually going to be a sweepstakes where they can send in videos, photos of themselves on their road trip or their vacations and send it in, and you can use the hashtag ChexMixSweepstakes, and Chex Mix will be doing 20 $250 road trip prize packets. So we want to see what you guys do also on your own vacations and road trips. So this is going to be a great fun time for all of us, and hopefully everybody enjoys it.
Awesome, awesome. That sounds like a great time. Now, the AB family, you mentioned them a little bit, and they're known for their crazy, kind of random videos. But what can we expect from you during this series?
Well, I don't know what to expect. I think I'm just going to go along for the ride, and whatever happens naturally happens. I don't really know all the things that we're going to be doing, so they didn't tell us, so that all of our experiences will be we'll be experiencing it for the first time and not prepared. So whatever the natural instinct will be is what you will see.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I tell you what, we wish you the best of luck. Real quickly before we go, obviously taking a road trip can be kind of draining. What kind of tips do you think you might be able to provide for folks who are thinking of taking their own road trip this summer?
For me, I think the most important thing is take your time. You don't have to rush to the next spot. Enjoy the actual road. Enjoy the trip. Enjoy the time with the family. Be prepared for the places you go. Just prepare a nice long trip and just truly enjoy it. When I first came here, I was like, okay, just make sure you have your bear spray. Okay, just have your bear spray if you come up here, just to make sure. All right, I got my own ranger here, making sure that nothing happens to us. But have your bear spray.
There you go. Have your bear spray, folks. Alfonso Ribeiro, live from Yellowstone National Park. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
And we'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. If you've been thinking for a while that you need to get your car fixed or something that maybe doesn't sound quite right, then look no further than Handle Automotive over on Monona Drive. And I'm joined now by the president of Handle Automotive, Lori Doherty. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here. Obviously, we're going to talk quite a bit about Handle Automotive. So talk to us a little bit about what makes Handle different from other auto repair places.
We're family owned. We treat our customers like family, and we respect their individual needs.
Okay, yeah. And so there's not so much of a one-size-fits-all type of thing. You really are looking at what the vehicle and what the person really truly needs.
Correct.
Yeah. So obviously when people make car purchases, they're hoping that they're going to keep that vehicle for years and years to come. I know me personally, I always like to run my cars into the ground, so I try not to sell them. I try to use them until I can't anymore. So why is car maintenance so important?
Doing regular maintenance on your car, it makes it safe and liable for it. Doing a routine maintenance, it helps catch bigger problems
Sure.
down the line. And in lapse maintenance, what happens is that the vital fluid, timing belt, dirty filter, cracked belts, old spark plugs could lead to bigger problems and cost more.
So really, fixing those smaller problems can prevent the bigger problems from happening.
Correct,
Because
'cause-
everything really works together.
Correct. It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, yeah. So if one thing is off, it sets some other things off as well.
Right.
So if you don't get those brake pads replaced, then you might have to replace the whole rotor with it because you'll get...
Nowadays, what we do is we replace the pads and the rotors because it's
That's
actually
standard now?
Yes,
Okay.
that's standard because it's cheaper to go ahead and replace the rotors than to go ahead and resurface them.
And I've heard that now, that rotors have become a lot more cost effective now. And they used to, in the old days, they used to just turn them to kind of smooth them out again. But now it's actually cheaper to do it that way.
Correct.
Yeah. So, with newer cars, obviously nowadays we can go in the different types of like Mobil 1 synthetic oils and so forth. We can go longer between oil changes. I mean, is it still recommended? I mean, how often do we bring in our cars for just a routine check, even if we're not getting the oil change?
A lot of with the newer cars, they go 10,000 miles. Some people, they don't drive. We won't see them for a year.
Yeah.
And with us not being able to check out the car, we won't be able to catch like the tire rotations because we recommend tire rotations every other oil change.
Sure.
And it just helps, the wear and tear on the tires. And if we don't see the car within a year, we can't catch that. We can't catch the minor things like if there's an oil leak or if there's a misfire.
Sure.
We're not able to do it. So we recommend seeing the car within 3 months. This way we can go ahead and get familiar with it. We can check the fluids. We know exactly, with the fluids and everything.
I'm always impressed when I go to any place, I mean, especially a place like yours when you fix cars, people often remember the car. They might not remember your face, but they'll say, oh yeah, I remember that car, because they really get the sort of almost an intimate relationship with this car, and they get to know it really well. So when you say getting to know the vehicle and kind of establishing that, I think that's really cool.
It is kind of, because Bill, who is our service writer, I mean, he knows just about everybody who comes in. And then when you have your techs in the back, they know by the cars.
Sure, yeah. So the service writer knows the people, and the techs, they know the cars. So. Now, I know I'm a owner of a Honda, and I'm always told that you got to make sure that you change the timing belt every 30, 90,000 miles or something like that. How important is that? I mean, is that important in other vehicles to do that?
It's very important to keep the timing belt keeps the valves operating in a timely manner.
Okay.
And it also makes it run properly.
Okay.
Secondly, if you replace your timing belt on schedule, you'll avoid downtime and a very costly repair.
So getting it, keeping it well-timed by replacing the timing belt is cheaper than trying to get it re-timed by, if the timing belt were to break or something like that.
If the timing belt tends to break, it could cause valve damage.
Okay.
And sometimes we can go ahead and replace the valves.
Sure.
Sometimes it ends up you need a new engine.
Yeah, yeah. So always important that preventative maintenance is so important.
Correct.
Lori Doherty from Handle Automotive, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great talking with you. That's all the time we have for Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.